Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the next video. So in this video we are going to see how to create a database in the MySQL workbench. So the first thing is just go to your search box and search like work and you will see workbench 8.0. See, just open that one. So you'll be redirected over here and you can see here this is the interface for MySQL workbench, and it says that MySQL workbench is the official graphical user interface tool for MySQL. It allows you to design, create and browse your database schemas here. All right, so by default, if you don't know to how installing this one, then you can see our previous video. All right, so I'll just log into this one and so creating the database and the whatever basic things, right? So basic things we are going to do in this video. So before that I will just delete the database. So you can see database and the database name is test. So I will just execute that line and database deleted. So these are basically the commands which we are using for creating the database, using the database, then deleting the database, so creating a table inside the database. So whatever, those kind of things we are going to do in this one. So I will start from the scratch. Okay, so the interface will be something like this for you, and you will be on the administration, and after that you just need to click on schemas. And if you want to see the databases which are already present in your system by default, then you can use this query. So just go to this query and show databases. Like this, you need to write a query and run it. So if you run this query, then it will show all the databases which are present by default or the one which you have created. So these are the few of the databases which are present in my laptop. Okay, so after that, now it's time to create your own database, because you don't want to use the by default databases. You surely, definitely, if you are using MySQL, then you want to create some custom database, some data you want to store on yourself, right? So that can be done very easily. Okay, so you just need to write here create database, and after that you need to give the name of the database. So I will just name it as test and semicolon. So this is the command for creating, or this is a query for creating the database. So you just need to run this one and you can see a green check here saying that database is created. Okay, so now the database with the name of test is created. Now we have to tell the MySQL workbench to use this database. So for that we use the command. It's very simple, use, and we need to write the name of the database, use test, and you just want to execute this single line. See, this is for executing all the queries which are written in this one, in this editor, and if you want to just execute whatever the cursor is blinking this line, then you have to execute this one. So again, if I execute this whole thing, it will throw error. See, can't create database, test database already exists. That means it is again trying to create the database with the name of test, but as we know already we have created the database with the name of test, so it will not create and it will throw error. So I just want to execute this single line, right? So there is this option, execute the statement under the keyboard cursor. So keyboard cursor, this line, if I click on this one, then you can see it got passed, and it's saying that use test is passed now. So now it is using the test. All right, so now you have created the database and you are using the database. It's time to create some tables in that database, right? So for that one you need to use these commands: create table. After that you need to give table name. So I will just name it as employee table, and inside this employee table you need to give the columns, which columns you are going to store. So I will just say user underscore id, and this will be of type integer, so user id will be normally int, right? So we'll just give it as int here. So after that, mm, first name, and this will be of type char, with the length max to max 20 will be enough, and last name, this will be of again character type with the length max to max 20, and last one will be email, again the character with length maximum 30. So this query is for creating the table. So now see what we have did is we said create table and we have given the table name, that is employee, and after this I can give employee info. Employee info is the table name, and these are the four columns in that employee info. The first one is user ID, then first name, then last name, and email. So user ID will be of type integer, first name is of type characters, last name is also character, email is also character. Now I need to execute this single line. Just click on this and you can see create table has been successfully executed. So now if you want to check if the table is exactly if it is got created or not, then you can use this query show, otherwise select star from employee info. So this query will show the table. So you can see here empty table is present, and it says like user ID, first name, last name, and email. So these are the same four columns which you have inserted. Now it's time to insert data into the table, right? So now what we can do is, so we can use this command insert into, and now you need to give the table name, that is employee info. After this we need to give the column names here. So the first column is user ID, then first name, then last name, and the last one is email. So after that we need to tell what values need to be inserted. So we need to write them in the single quote. So for user ID let it be 1, and for first name let it be Sagar, and last name maybe Patil. After that email will be sagar@gmail.com. So this is the data which we want to insert. User ID will be 1, first name will be Sagar, last name will be Patil, and email. Right, so insert into, and we need to give the employee whatever table name, and we need to mention the columns. It will match user ID to the first one. So 4 columns and 4 data you need to give. So I'll just execute this one and we can see the data has been inserted. Now if you want to see the data, just place the cursor here and execute that line. So you will be able to see the data. So see here you can, the user ID is 1, first name is Sagar, last name is Patil, email and all. Okay, so similarly if you want to insert more data, then you can edit this query itself here. I will change this to Anil and Sharma, and this one I will give it as Anil. So now I will execute this line. So the data has been inserted. Again to check that one, I'll go to the fourth line and execute it. So you can see Anil Sharma, anil@gmail.com has been inserted. So similarly you can add any other name. So let's say Poonam, let it be Sharma, and this thing. So after that execute this query as well, then execute this. So the data is inserted and you can see here. So this basically you can do a number of activities like this, and this is a pretty much simple basic introduction regarding how to use the MySQL workbench and all. And if you want to see like more operations on this one, then you can follow our next videos where we'll be explaining how to import the files. this data, I mean, by inserting like this CSV files, comma separated files, is not a good idea every time.